Hi, I'm Alex, and in this video I will talk you about the DASSBRUM, our new module from Winter Plankton. The DASSBRUM is a powerful analog kick drum with digital control. It has several features like waveshaping, custom accent levels, and a sweet spot control, among other features. A perfect companion for these apps. Capable of classic kick drum sounds. And complex modulations. The DASSBRUM is an analog kick drum module with digital control in a 8 HP format. It features an analog sine wave oscillator, which is controlled by the main pitch slide potentiometer and the volt per octave input. The slider keeps the sound into the bass drum sound range. While the volt per octave input can transform it into a stable oscillator. It has an analog envelope generator and a VCA, which again are controlled with the slide potentiometer and the CV input. It can go from snappy sounds to long drum sounds. It has several wave shaper circuits, which provide 8 different shaper combinations. The slide potentiometer controls the shaping amount, while the button switches between the 8 different modes. The CV control can be assigned to the mount or to the circuit type with a switch on the rear of the PCB. It also has a digital pitch envelope section that shapes the sound of the bass drum. The controls are decay and amount and can be only controlled manually. We have chosen to make this section digital because it provides an extra layer of control. On one side, we can control the accent levels. This way, we can assign where and how much of the accent is applied when an accent note is triggered. Also, it permits a sweet spot mode which keeps the range of the sound into the bass drum sound range. We will see this later, but notice the difference between sweet spot and standard modes. And finally, there is a trigger input which can also be activated manually, an accent input, and the output. The DASBRUM has 3 different wave shapers arranged in 4 groups with 2 subgroups each, that is 8 shaping combinations. Each group is assigned to a color, and inside each group there are 2 subgroups. This way we have group 1A and B, 2A and B, 3A and B, and 4A and 4B. These subgroups determines the position of the folder in the circuit. The shaper can be pre or post VCA. On subgroup A, the folder is in pre-VCA mode. This way, the wave is distorted evenly along its duration. On subgroup B, the folder is in post-VCA mode. On the post-VCA mode, the wave is more distorted at the beginning while less at the end. This creates a snap of distortion at the beginning of the sound, adding more presence to it. Now let's see each group in detail. The first one, assigned to the orange-red colors, is the square shaper, a soft clipper that clips the sine wave into a square wave, giving those extra harmonics that put the drum sound in the front of the mix. Here you can listen to the clean sound. Now we add some harmonics with the folder fader. And notice how the sound is more and more distorted as we go up with the folder. Now in group B, you can listen how the sound is more snappy. This is because the folder is distorting more the beginning of the sound and less at the end. This is good for creating tom sounds without any pitch envelope at all. The second shaper, the green one, is a surge-like wave shaper that folds the wave over itself, creating a range of harmonics that brings a cool palette of sounds. It is very useful to create wood, plastic or tooth-like sounds. The third shaper, assigned to blue color, is a variation from the second one. Notice how the sound is almost turned off at the beginning of the slider. fourth group, the purple one, is a sum of the first and the second shapers. This results in a heavily distorted wave. With the CV input of the folder, we can control the amount of the shaping. It can be used on several ways. We can sequence the amount of the shaper at each trigger. We can use an LFO. Or modulate the sound with audio rates. The CV input can also be used to sequence the folder types. The mode is changed with a switch behind the unit. Notice that this mode is quantized to the different levels and change when a trigger is received. The DASSBRUM offers a powerful accent control that goes beyond the standard drum machine accent levels. You can control which of the two destinations you want to apply the accent and with how much intensity. By holding the accent button, you access to the accent mode. Here, you can determine how much difference between a normal and an accent trigger is applied to the BCA, or to the pitch envelope amount. This is very useful to add a layer of expression to the sound beyond the simple control of the amplitude. Notice that the more I turn the potentiometer up, the bigger is the difference between both sounds. With the sweet spot button, it is possible to limit the pitch envelope parameters to keep the sound into the kick drum sound. The larger the decay, the less the amount will be applied to avoid sounds like and get sounds like. Notice the difference between sweet spot off and on. The digital control of the DASBRUM permits another cool feature, which is storing of some settings. By pressing trigger and fold buttons together, the accent amounts, folder type and sweet spot state will be stored and recalled the next time you turn on the unit. This will keep everything in place in case the unit or power are turned off.